Tonight, we're going to share some stories, some really unsettling ones, actually.
Yeah, these are first-hand accounts, aren't they?
Yeah.
People who were working totally alone late at night.
Exactly. And things went from, normal everyday work to something deeply disturbing. This isn't made up. These are real experiences.
And they really tap into that primal fear, I think. Being vulnerable, alone in the dark.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how mundane situations can just flip like that.
Right. A familiar workplace suddenly feels threatening. We've got 3 quite different stories lined up.
We do. We'll hear about a late shift in a small pizza shop, then a delivery driver who ended up somewhere pretty remote and scary.
And the last one, it's set in a data center overnight. Different settings, different kinds of threats, but that same core feeling.
That vulnerability, yeah. And the chilling part is just how real it all is. These are just regular people.
Yeah, doing their jobs, and then suddenly they're facing something truly frightening. Makes you think, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. About feeling safe, even in familiar places.
It really does. Okay, so let's start with the first story.
Yeah.
This one happens at a little pizza place, open 24/7.
Okay.
And the person telling the story actually preferred the night shift, found it peaceful, liked being on their own.
Right, that sense of autonomy. Which makes the contrast with what happens even sharper, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. They were in their mid-20s, just trying to earn some extra cash, save up.
A very normal situation.
Totally normal. So this one, Tuesday night, it starts out completely average. Shift starts around 9 p.m., few customers here and there.
Standard stuff.
Then around 1 a.m., everything just goes dead quiet. No walk-ins, no calls, just them in the back, probably scrolling on their phone.
Killing time.
And then the little bell above the front door, the one that rings when someone comes in, it rings.
Okay.
But nobody's there. They go check the front, look out the window, nothing. Absolutely empty.
Huh. Weird.
Uh-huh.
That initial reaction, though, you'd probably just brush it off, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe the wind or just hearing things.
Mm-hmm. Totally. That's what they did. Went back to the back room, tried to forget it, but then, maybe 15 minutes later, it rings again.
Ah. Okay, now it's getting strange.
Yeah, this time they know they heard it. No mistake. And there's still no one there. So that initial confusion starts turning into, unease.
Because there's just no reason for it. What is making it ring?
Exactly. And it keeps happening. Over the next hour or so, intermittently, ding, always when they're in the back.
That repetition is key. It starts to feel deliberate somehow, even if you can't see anyone.
Right. They even called out, hello, thinking maybe it was a prank, but just silence.
Creepy.
So eventually they kind of try to ignore it. Maybe it's just the old building being weird. But then, shift's almost over. Around 4 a.m., they go to the front counter to count the cash register.
Okay. And things change here.
Big time. Suddenly they get this intense feeling like they're being watched.
Oh, that feeling, even when you can't see anyone. It's like an alarm bell going off inside.
Totally. They look around the empty shop, trying to shake it off, thinking about the phantom doorbell maybe making them jumpy, and then heavy thump right behind them.
Whoa.
Like a boot hitting the floor. They whip around, and there's a guy just standing there a few feet away.
Oh, man.
Dressed all in black, clothes ripped, hoodie up so you can barely see his face. But they saw his eyes bloodshot, and he's holding a knife.
Appeared. Wow. The description alone is chilling. The ripped clothes, the hidden face, the eyes, and the knife. Instant threat.
Absolutely. So the person working, they react pretty quick, trying to, de-escalate. They offer the money, just take the cash, it's fine, just leave.
Smart move. Logical response.
But the guy, he just stands there, staring. Completely blank expression, like a 1,000-yard stare. Doesn't say a word, doesn't move towards the money.
That's almost worse, isn't it? That total lack of reaction. It's unpredictable.
Terrifyingly so. It suggests something beyond just robbery.
Yeah.
Something off.
Yeah, makes it way scarier. What do? They're trapped, right? The guy's between them and the door.
Pretty much. The counter was sort of L-shaped, so they made a split-second decision. They just dove head first right over the counter.
Wow. Desperate move. Risky.
Totally clumsy, but it worked. Landed hard, scrambled up, and the man immediately lunged after them. The person that said his face just twisted into this look of pure rage, like uncontrollable bloodlust.
Oh, God. So he wasn't just there to scare them.
Definitely not. They bolted out the front door, just ran. Didn't even think about their car parked around back. Just sprinted down the street as fast as they could.
Adrenaline must have been insane. Just pure survival instinct.
Absolutely. Eventually, the man stopped chasing. They managed to get away and call the police.
And the aftermath. What did the police find?
Well, they found the pizza shop completely trashed, turned upside down. But maybe the most disturbing thing, their car, parked out back where they hadn't run.
Yeah.
It was vandalized, deep scratches all over it. Looked like they were made with a knife.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
even after the chase stopped, that feels personal, deliberate, not just a random act.
Exactly. It raises so many questions, like why trash the shop? And the car? And what about the doorbell?
Right, the doorbell. Did he use that somehow?
The person telling the story thinks so. They realize there was like an hour between the last bell ring and when the guy appeared. They think he might have been inside the shop that whole time.
Hiding. Oh, that's terrifying. Using the bell to know when they were distracted or in the back room.
That's the chilling theory. He was never caught. And understandably, the person quit that job immediately. You can imagine why. Leaves you feeling really vulnerable.
Absolutely. It wasn't just about money, it felt targeted, predatory.
The why is just hanging there, unanswered. Super unsettling.
Okay, let's move to our second story. This one involves late night deliveries.
Right. Another situation where someone's working alone, often in unfamiliar places.
Exactly. This person was doing deliveries after their regular job, just trying to make some extra money.
Trying to make ends meet. Understandable. So one night, they'd actually had a pretty decent run, good tips. Decided to take one more delivery, hoping to finish strong. This one offered a really big tip.
The lure of the big tip. Sometimes that can make you take a job you might otherwise skip.
I think that's what happened here. The delivery was about 15 minutes away, seemed worth it. But as they drove, the directions took them further and further out. Towards this wooded area they didn't even know people lived near.
Getting more remote. That always sets off a little warning bell, doesn't it? Especially at night.
Yeah, they kept checking the GPS, thinking maybe it was wrong. But no, it seemed right. The last turn was onto this, gravel road, unpaved, leading straight into the woods.
Okay, that's definitely unusual for a delivery.
It ended at a gate. Looked like the entrance to a forest preserve.
Forest preserve. At night, they're usually closed.
Right. But the chain that should have been across the entrance pillars was just lying there on the ground. So they sort of hesitated, then drove through cautiously. Into this weird, dark parking area. No lights, no houses in sight. Just trees and a sign saying, "Yep, forest preserve."
Okay, this is already feeling off.
Yeah.
Where's the customer?
Just then, their phone rings. It's the customer. But the voice. It was this really deep, gravelly voice. The guy asks, "Can you see me?" and then tells them to look for a campfire down one of the trails. That's where he is.
Wait, a campfire, not a house address. He wants them to walk into the woods at night.
Yeah. Super weird. The delivery person felt uneasy, obviously, but the guy gave some flimsy story about camping overnight.
Which is usually not allowed in preserves like that.
Exactly, but the delivery person wasn't really an outdoors type, didn't question it too hard initially. Plus, that big tip was probably still on their mind.
Right, the money factor.
So they get out of the car, grab the food. It's pitch black. They have to use their phone flashlight to see anything.
Walking into the dark woods alone, not good.
They start down this narrow trail, expecting maybe to hear voices, see tents, something. But it's dead silent. Eerily quiet.
Just the woods at night. Creepy.
Then they see it. Off the main path, quite a ways in. A single campfire. But no people around it, no tents, no gear, nothing. Just a fire burning by itself.
Okay, that's not camping. That's just wrong. Alarm bells should be screaming now.
They were definitely thinking, this is really strange. Just sort of standing there trying to figure it out. And then they hear it snap. A twig breaking nearby in the trees.
Someone's there, watching.
They see a figure just standing motionless in the shadows. Too far to make out details. They call out, "Delivery, put the food down on the ground near the path."
Probably wanted to get out of there fast.
And that's when the man steps out from behind some trees, same gravelly voice from the phone, and he gives them this smile. But it's described as really disturbing, unnatural, fake.
Oh, chills. That kind of forced smile is always a bad sign. Instincts kicking in.
Instantly. Every instinct screamed, "Danger!" They didn't hesitate, just turned and ran, back towards the car.
Good call. Just run.
The man starts calling after them, but in this creepy, overly nice voice, "Hey, wait, come back, I've got your cash." Ugh, that makes it even worse, trying to lure them back.
They didn't stop. Got to the car, heart pounding, fumbling with the keys like crazy, finally get it started, slam it in reverse to leave.
Yeah.
And the chain across the entrance pillars, it's back up. Pulled tight and latched. They're trapped.
No, oh no. That means he planned it. He knew they might run.
It totally implies premeditation. It went from weird to actively sinister fast.
What did they do? Were they stuck?
Just as they realize they're blocked, they hear footsteps. Running. Coming up fast behind the car.
Oh my God.
Didn't even look back to see who or what it was. They just floored it. Yanked the wheel, drove right off the gravel road, bumped around the pillars and the chain, somehow managed not to crash into the ditch.
Wow, pure panic driving.
Just peeled out of there as fast as they could and didn't look back once.
I wouldn't either. Jeez. Did they ever find out more?
Yeah, the next morning they looked it up online. The Forest Preserve. It closes way before midnight. And overnight camping. Strictly forbidden. So the whole story was a lie. Completely fabricated to lure them there.
Completely. Which makes you wonder, what was that guy planning? What would have happened if they hadn't gotten away? It's deeply disturbing.
Yeah, the not knowing is terrifying. Just sheer luck and quick thinking they got out. Okay, well, let's take a breath. One more story.
Right, our final one. This takes place in a data center.
Okay, another isolated environment, especially overnight.
Definitely. Described as a small warehouse, kind of out of the way, backed by trees. The person telling this worked the night shift, totally alone.
And the job is mostly just monitoring things.
Pretty much. Watching computer systems, making sure everything is running smoothly. Said it was usually pretty monotonous, actually. They'd often just watch movies or shows on their laptop to pass the time.
Right, so you get lulled into this routine, this sense of quiet isolation.
Exactly. System problems were rare. Maybe once or twice a week a server might need a quick restart, but nothing major.
Until this night, I presume.
Until this night. About 2 hours into the shift, an alert pops up. Critical system offline.
Okay, that's unusual then.
Very. And the reason logged by the system? An unplugged power cable in the main data storage room.
Unplugged, like just pulled out. That doesn't just happen with those kinds of cables, does it? They're usually pretty secure.
Right, that's what the person thought. Super strange. They'd never seen that specific cable come loose before. It wasn't something that just randomly happens.
So, red flag number one, something's not right.
Yeah. So they go into the data room, find the cable, plug it back in, system comes back online. They start heading back to their little office area.
Okay.
And as they're walking down one of the corridors, these places are usually dead silent at night, they hear a sound. A heavy door thumping shut somewhere nearby.
Unfamiliar sound in a familiar quiet space. Always jarring.
Definitely. They couldn't place exactly where it came from, get back to their office, sit down, try to get back to their show, and then they hear something else.
More sounds.
Footsteps. Right outside their office door. Sounded like someone scurrying, moving fast.
Scurrying, okay, that's unsettling, not just walking.
Right. They quickly open their door, look out into the corridor. Nothing. Empty. But they know the sound was right there, just seconds before.
That feeling of just missing something.
Yeah.
Or someone.
Yeah. So now they're thinking, okay, this is too weird. Curiosity mixed with, a growing sense of dread. They decide to check it out.
Braver than me, maybe.
Maybe. They walk down the hallway towards the end where they thought the sound came from. And just as they get near the end, they see a door silently swinging shut.
Oh, visual confirmation. Someone is in the building.
Definitely. Now they know they're not alone. Heart's probably pounding.
I bet. What did they do? Go through the door.
Cautiously, yeah. Open the door that had just closed. It led into another longer corridor, lined with more office rooms, all dark.
Okay.
They called out, like, hello, is anyone there? Just their voice echoing back. Super eerie silence.
Makes the hair on your neck stand up.
And then, bam! One of the office doors down this new hallway suddenly swings inward into the dark room. And they just catch a glimpse, a flash of movement. Looked like a man running out of that room, deeper into the building.
Whoa. Okay, that's it. Time to go.
No hesitation. The second they saw that movement, they turned around and just ran. Didn't go back the way they came. Found the nearest fire exit and bolted out of the building straight to their car.
Smart. Get out. Get safe. Call for help.
Exactly what they did. Called the police immediately. Cops arrived, searched the whole data center thoroughly.
Did they find anyone?
No. Whoever it was gone. Vanished.
Wow. So what's the theory? Why was someone in there?
Well, the most likely explanation they pieced together later was about the cable. The intruder was probably moving around inside, maybe hiding or looking for something, and accidentally bumped the power cable, knocking it out. That's what triggered the alert.
Ah, okay, so the alert actually flushed them out, potentially. Made them move.
Seems likely. The company obviously started an investigation into how someone got in, security breach and all that. But for the person working that night,
yeah,
the really unsettling thought was realizing the intruder probably didn't want to be found. The scurrying, the closing doors, running away when seen. It felt like they were actively trying to avoid detection.
Which makes you wonder why they were there. and what they might have done if they hadn't been accidentally discovered.
Yeah.
It's that unknown intention again.
Exactly. It's that violation of a supposedly secure space, and again, that feeling of being completely alone and vulnerable when you thought you were safe.
3 really different scenarios, but that same thread runs through them all, doesn't it?
It really does. People just trying to do their jobs alone at night and suddenly facing something inexplicable, unsettling, and potentially very dangerous.
Yeah, these stories, because they're real, they hit differently. They remind you that scary things aren't just in movies. They can happen at a pizza shop, on a delivery route, in an office building.
And maybe the biggest takeaway is that feeling they all seem to have that gut instinct that something was wrong.
Absolutely. That sense of unease, that feeling of being watched, the weird inconsistencies, it really underlines how important it is to trust your instincts in those situations.
Yeah.
Don't just brush it off.
Yeah. It leaves you with that lingering thought, doesn't it? What might be out there, just out of sight, even in places that feel completely normal.
It certainly does. You just never know.
Well, thank you for tuning in to hear these unsettling accounts with us. We hope they gave you something to think about.
Stay safe out there.
Until next time. And hey, if you found these stories compelling, please do us a favor like this. Share it with someone who enjoys true scary stories, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We appreciate the support.